Retire early. What can go wrong? Got this question the other day from an individual asked, hey, what were you thinking about pre-retirement that compare and contrast that to what you're thinking about 5 years later, Joe? What'd you worry about? What's my journey potentially going to look like? So I thought I'd turn that into a video and reply to this individual. So if we haven't met before, my name is Joe. I retired at the age of 54. I'm currently 59, so 5 years of experience in this retirement game. So what was I thinking about pre-retirement? Let's just go back, a year, 9 months before I retired. Do I have enough money? That was the dominant question, and I'm sure it's on your mind. I felt good about the long-term projections and direction of the stock market. I've been invested in the stock market for decades. I've always was maximizing returns. I had probably around 3 or 4 years, maybe as many as 5, I started shifting money away from all pre-tax savings to some post, build up that brokerage account. You got to live on something from 54 to 59 and a half. So I was really doing some heavy shifting there, but I was all around maximizing returns. I don't think I had any bonds or any, fixed assets at all at this time. Now remember, this was in the 2014, 15, 16 time frame. I retired in 19. So bonds weren't paying anything, fixed wasn't paying anything, stock market was going crazy. So it was good times. So do I have enough money dominated my thought. Number 2, as I came closer to retirement, I would say 1 year, 6 months, definitely 6 weeks, 6 days. Did I miss something in my planning models, my spreadsheets? Is there something that I just don't know that I'm missing? Did I put in a bad assumption for inflation, for returns, for healthcare? Did I screw something up? My healthcare is going to cost twice as much as what I thought it was going to. Was there an oversight, like I missed long-term care, or I missed something on Social Security? There's just, all this was new. All these terms like sequence of return was a new term to me. How do I plan for it? Accumulating money is honestly, I didn't think was that hard. I automatically did it, lived my life. Automatically took out, money. I built that up to over 20% that I was saving, and just went on with life and lived on the rest, and didn't delay everything all fun until retirement, but I was saving quite a bit and didn't let lifestyle creep catch up to me. So it was time to cash that in, but I worried about something missing in my plans. That was a big deal. It made perfect sense to work another 6 months, to work another year. That made more sense than leaving at 54. I was at the top of my income by a lot the day I retired. My plans at the time was, and I started thinking around how I was going to roll this out. I was going to do nothing for 6 months, and then I was going to start a consulting business, maybe working, up to 5 days a month in reliability and maintenance. That's an expertise of mine. I did this with my company for 4 years. I was the global director of reliability and maintenance, so I had a lot of experience doing that and intervening at plants and nudging them in certain directions, and I thought I had a lot to offer. I've spoke at conferences, so that was my plan. All this is what I was thinking about pre-retirement. Let's see. And just as a little sidebar, what I was not thinking about is inflation. Remember, it was 2019. We probably hadn't had inflation since, for at least 10 years of anything to be concerned about. Wasn't thinking about a recession. Those things just weren't on the radar. A lot of ignorance. Let's just say that. So now, 5 years later, I really don't worry about anything. So I'm going to say, what do I spend time on? What do I think about? And just, work out in my month to make sure I'm executing the plan. So worry is way too strong a word because I don't worry in retirement here. And number one, I tried to list these by how much time I spend on them. So number one for me is longevity and eating healthy and exercising. I spend a lot of my day doing that. It's the first thing I do in the morning. I wake up probably about 7:30 in the morning, and by the time I get done exercising and stop sweating, it's about 10. Okay, so I spend a lot of time doing that. I run. I lift weights. It's just a big part of what I do, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos and read a lot on longevity. Number two, I spend a lot of time on travel plans, seeing our kids and seeing the world. I've got a couple more trips planned this year, researching those, what we're going to do. That's where I spend a lot of time. Number three, I'm involved in some nonprofits and a study group. Okay. One of the things to notice, I haven't listed any money issues in my top three. But it is number four, okay? Number four, money issues. And I got 6 things I want to list under money issues because that's what a lot of people are looking for out of this channel. So under the heading of money, number one thing I put time into is management of taxes. I wasn't as aware of this, as you can tell from the conversation, pre-retirement. Management of taxes has hit me in the face, and I'm telling you, that happened the day that I got the new retirement software. It's the first link below. Tap on it for free 2 weeks. It's the software I use. It is my retirement plan, and what I like about it, not only does it do all the calculations, and you can manipulate and stress test everything to an engineer's delight. It's not complicated, I don't think. But it makes the tax situation for me year by year at RMD time, especially when I'm 75, jump out in my face, okay? Color coded, here's the tax bracket you're in. Management of taxes, huge issue for me. If you're not aware of your tax bomb, get new retirement. Number two, I'm trying to simplify where my money's at. Less accounts. I'm not chasing, 0.1%, to get a better fixed rate on this CD versus this money market fund versus this I bond. I was doing that, and now it's just like, I want simple. Let's just have a couple counts. I got 1 or 2 CDs, and then I've got a lot of my money in a money market fund, and instead of, constantly going after that last 0.1%. Simplicity is worth it to me. Number 3 is safety of my money, and this is completely different than when you're accumulating. And this was a hard turn for me. It's diversification, going from 100% stocks to some fixed, some bonds in my portfolio, and then having stocks. The goal is not to maximize returns, but to get safety. You've won the game, stop playing. If you're up by 3 touchdowns in football, American football, don't keep trying to score. Number 4, confidence to spend. I mentioned this term, that's the term I use, confidence to spend. When the market is down 40%, you're down 40% in your portfolio, are you gonna spend money? Are you going to use the 4% rule, 5% rule, whatever? Or are you going to dial that down to the 1%? How are you going to get confidence to spend knowing that this money has to last you? And I've left several videos on that. I have a process I go through looking at my highlights. I look at my expenses once a quarter. I update new retirement once a quarter. And I talk with my financial group. You've heard me talk about them. But I go through my buckets and make sure my bucket 1, 2, and 3 are adequately funded to do their job. Number 5, hey, I added inflation in there somewhat. I honestly don't stress inflation. I know things are going up a little bit, but I got levers, to cut spending, if things are sustained. I really don't panic in the year. Inflation's been high for a couple years now. And that's bad. But if it's bad, if it's high for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, that's when it really gets ugly. So hopefully things are starting to turn there, but I can't control that. I can control my spending. Number 6, on money issues, COVID forced me to do a pivot here. I was doing some consulting, making good money in consulting, but then everything locked down. I went all virtual, started a YouTube channel. First 200 videos, if you look back in order here, they're on reliability and maintenance. And I was getting 1,000 views on those. I enjoyed doing that. But I've almost stopped doing reliability and maintenance consulting. Enjoyed doing that. I do some writing on that. I write for a magazine. I actually make videos for a magazine as well. But I pivoted towards what the audience, you guys wanted to hear more about is what's the story, what's my story on retiring early, what did I learn, what mistakes I made, things like that, what I did right. But what's cool is plans are flexible in retirement. When you're not chasing money, when you're not doing it for money, you do it for fun. Do whatever you want, right? So some interesting facts on retiring. I just chose to put these in here is, things I wasn't expecting. I watch far less TV because I'm not tired in the evenings anymore. I have more energy. I sleep more. And by that, I'm sleeping at about 9 hours a night. When I was working, I was sleeping closer to 7.5, 7. But I never fall asleep during the day, never take a nap, just more energy. And one thing people talk about a lot is ego. Who am I? What do I do? I'm just Joe. And I love being just Joe. And I think you will too. Just be yourself. You don't have... Your ego, don't let it come from your job. That can cause problems, actually. If your job gets yanked away from you, what happens to your ego? And in retirement, you got to get comfortable in your own skin. So a couple highlights I wanted to make from just to look at the themes of the difference between what I was worried about pre-retirement and what I think about post-retirement. Number 1, notice that fear is missing from the list of post-retirement. I'm not worried about, did I miss something in my plan? That comes from, I believe, I have a retirement group, 2 other guys that I share everything with, all my moves. I have somebody that I run that by, and they're pointing out concerns or any issues they may have with that. I use new retirement software instead of my spreadsheets, and I had great spreadsheets, I thought, but new retirement gives me great confidence. I have access to a free financial advisor that I use. I do some study and, on my own, and producing this channel, I get a lot of comments and a lot of things to research from this channel that is a hobby, but fear I don't have. Information trumps fear. That's the message. Information trumps fear. So I got access to a lot of information, a lot of people to use as a sounding board. I cannot imagine my retirement without having that sounding board. That's the key to me, is the stress test with other people. New retirement, that's not other people, but they do have coaching. So if you want one-on-one coaching for new retirement, I think it's $175, and they'll walk through your plan with you. Pickle is a group I found. They're the second link below. If you want to run your plan, a question by a certified financial planner, call these folks at Pickle. Click on that link. It's totally free. Totally free. You call these guys. You could think you got a great plan. Call these guys. You think you got I'm thinking about taking Social Security at 62, and everybody tells me to push it off to 70. I think I got a special situation. I want to talk that through with the certified financial planner for free. Call the folks at Pickle. No obligation at all. And then my retirement group, priceless. So to me, surrounding myself by people that I can have intimate sharing of my plan has made a huge difference. And underneath the fear, I also will list confidence to spend. This was a term I never even thought about pre-retirement, but confidence to spend money. Once you have your pile of money and you need it to last 30, 40 years, it's a big issue when the market is down. This has happened to, a couple times. COVID had that small spike in 2020 or trough in 2020, and then we had 2022 happen. How do you spend money through that without, pulling all your hair out? And again, you need to have a process. Information trumps fear. Okay, and I've talked about my process several times. Another thing that's different is, and this was huge, and nobody prepared me for this, lack of information, lack of study on my part, because it was out there, is saving versus spending mindset. When you're saving, maximize returns. When you're spending, you won the game, stop playing. You got to diversify. I got bonds in my mix. I got some fixed assets. I mean, I've changed. I'm still 80-20, but they're a big part of what allows me to sleep at night and play around in retirement stress-free is my bonds and fixed. And if the stock market goes down, my bonds may go up. My fixed will be fixed. So you got to be covered on with anything that can potentially happen in the market. You can't have that cause your plan to fail. Anyway, spending versus saving is a significant mindset change. Basically in retirement, I created a plan, got other people involved in my plan. My plan's in a comprehensive software package called New Retirement. I've run it by several people. I do research, and I'm just working the plan. And so the fear is gone. So that's what's different. Fear is a funny thing. Fear forces us as humans to do crazy things. We evolved to avoid the lion in the bush. And really, the fears that I had going into retirement didn't play out. I'm just working the plan now, and it's going pretty good. It's Joe out.